Hi, this is Mike Maloney, and I want to shout out a big thank you to Nick Laird of GoldChartsRUs.com. Nick had a very fortunate accident happen. I say fortunate because his server sent out a flurry of emails with some extra charts in it and stuff. And I went through these charts, and it was fortunate because the charts told me a story, and I want to convey that story to you now. This is the weekly transparent gold holdings. So it's the gold holdings of mutual funds and ETFs that have transparent reporting. And what you see here is that gold peaked back in October of 2016, and it's still trying to get past that peak. But silver is a very different story. It keeps on charging forward. And with gold outperforming silver recently, you would think that this would be a very different story. But if you subscribe to Theodore Butler of Butler Research, Ted Butler has done extensive research on the silver manipulation for decades now, and he's really the expert on it. But he claims that J.P. Morgan has been accumulating an enormous stockpile of physical silver and plans to stop suppressing the price of silver through the futures contracts, the commodities exchange. So here's the commodities exchange. This is the report on the commitment of traders, the COTS. And so these are futures. And down here we have the number of contracts that are out there. This is called open interest. And then that's broken down further where the commodities exchange reports the position of the largest commercial traders, the largest non-commercial traders, and the small traders, the non-reportables. And what you get, these are the net positions. So the commercials have both longs and shorts. If they buy a contract, they are betting that the price will go up. If they sell a contract, they're betting that the price will go down. And if you take the number of contracts that they've sold, betting that the price will go down, and you deduct the number of contracts that they purchased, betting that the price will go up, this is what you're left over with, this net position. And the commercials are always net short. They get down to almost zero sometimes. But what's interesting is that over the short term, they're almost always right. When this short position peaks, if you take a look at that from the peak to the trough, they're buying back these short positions. They just bet that the price would fall, and they were correct, and they made money all the way down. And then as the price rises again, they increase. So it rises up to a peak, and they increase their short position. And what you see is that they keep on increasing until the peak happens, and then as the price falls, they start buying these contracts back, and they make a profit all the way down. And they repeat this process over and over again. And in Ted Butler's research, what he found is that J.P. Morgan has never lost on a contract, that they have always made a profit since they took over the short book from Bear Stearns when Bear Stearns collapsed during the global financial crisis of 2008. Bear Stearns used to be the largest manipulator, and J.P. Morgan took over that job. And what you see here is that in the gold contracts, they've increased their short position slightly, but silver, you get this very different story again. They've decreased their position. Now, according to Ted Butler, they were going to decrease the position so that they can allow it to explode without J.P. Morgan getting burned. It will be the other bullion banks and so on that get burned, not J.P. Morgan. So what you see here is the short position is at a level where the silver price could rise significantly. That would allow the gold-silver ratio to fall again, meaning silver would be out. Whenever this is going down, silver is outperforming gold. When it's going up, gold is outperforming silver. This is a long-term chart here that goes all the way back to 1970. I wanted to show you this because when gold and silver were peaking in 1980, this ratio dropped, and it depends on the data set that you're using, because some people use futures contracts, some use live spot, some use daily averages or weekly averages, and some use intraday pricing, so the high-low swings of the day. And depending on which data set you use, you're going to get price ratio in 1980 of either 14, 15, 16, or 17. I'm going to zoom up on just the last 20 years of the price ratio just to show you how rare it is that we have the gold-silver ratio up in the 80s like this. There's a few days back in 2003, and then you've got several weeks here, 3, 4, 5 weeks back in 2008, and a week or two back in 2016, and we've got a few days that we've accumulated here in 2018. But when you look at the number of days that you're given this opportunity, where silver is so undervalued compared to gold, it's a rare moment, and I believe that this is an opportunity. I bought some silver a couple of weeks ago, and so I bought it very close to where it is right now. But I did a larger than normal accumulation. And it was because of the gold-silver ratio and a couple of other factors. But the reason for this whole story is that Nick did this chart of projecting the silver price at different gold-silver ratios, with gold at 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, so pick a number. And these are the different gold-silver ratios, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and 16, which was that 1980 high. Now, I believe that you are going to see silver blow past this in the next crisis. If there's a currency crisis, you will see this gold-silver ratio going even where silver's value is even higher than 1/16 of gold's value. We're very long into this economic recovery now. It's the second longest in U.S. history. We're way overdue for a recession. Right now, nothing bad is happening in the markets, but you know what? Someday, something will happen. And there will be another recession, and there will be another crisis. This gives you an idea if gold goes to 4,000. And I think 4,000 or 5,000 is sort of a no-brainer for gold in a crisis. And then if it turns into a dollar crisis, a currency crisis, which I do expect someday, then, it all depends on what happens with the dollar. The upper end of this is potentially infinity. I'm not saying it's going there. I don't give any investment advice. I just tell you what I'm doing, and I tell you what some of the facts are, some of the data. And this is the 20-to-1 line. This is 16-to-1. So if gold's value hits 1/20th of gold's price at these prices, like if you had $6,000 gold, then you've got $300 silver, and that means that the difference between this 1/80th line and the 1/20th line, you would get 4 times the performance out of silver than gold. And we're at one of these rare opportunities where silver is very, very undervalued right now. And that was the reason that I made my purchase a couple of weeks ago. So if you got anything from this, I want to thank you for listening. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, click that little bell next to the subscribe button to make sure you're on the list to get any new videos that come out as soon as they come out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.